If you ask me, there's nothing more rewarding than owning your own business and building up the financial freedom and the location freedom to just do whatever you want and to be your own boss and take vacations and just not have to worry about the daily grind anymore because you own the business. That's awesome. But it's also really hard. And one of the things that people don't tell you is that it's very unlikely for you to be able to achieve that level of success working in a bubble by yourself. And it's not because you don't work hard enough or it's too hard or whatever. It's not that you're not smart enough or working hard enough. It's because the stage isn't set for you to actually be able to win at this, especially when it comes to like web design and digital marketing, where like there's new stuff happening all the time, and Apple releases an iOS update that fundamentally changes how you market, especially on Facebook, or Google changes an algorithm, or there's new tools and plugins and themes and new ways to do all things all the time. It's like everything is moving all the time, and it's just too much for one person to figure out. It's kind of like if I said, hey, there's a treasure chest of gold buried in your backyard. I don't tell you exactly where, but it's somewhere in your backyard. A lot of people think, well, okay, well, what I'll just do is I'll just start digging holes. And if I dig enough holes, eventually I'll find the treasure chest and then I'll have the result that I want. Like I have the business that I want. But that's not the full story, because with all the things that are going on in digital marketing these days, it's not like you're just digging for a treasure chest and the chest is just sitting there. The treasure chest is kind of moving around underground all the time and you can't see it. And that's why you can dig as much as you want for as long as you want, and you'll probably never hit the treasure chest because it's moving all the time. And to make matters worse, you really have lots of different treasure chests you all have to collect at the same time, because you have to like define what your offer is and figure out how to do the marketing and how to get the traffic. So there's all these different individual goals that you need, and you need to collect all of them, right? So it's more like there's a bunch of coins all floating around underground in your backyard. You need to collect all the coins, but they're also moving at the same time, and you're just sitting there digging one hole at a time, trying to do the best that you can, and that's why you burn out and you can't make it work. So the solution to that is don't just dig one hole at a time. It's like get around people, put like 100 people, get hundreds of people in your backyard and all digging holes at the same time. And then people, I found a coin over here. And so I found one over here. And then everybody can benefit from all of that happening at the same time, which is of course the whole point behind Double Stack. It's like whenever we send out like an email, or we work with an email headline, or we do a landing page with a landing page headline, or an email subject line is what I meant to say. It's like we're iterating all of that stuff across hundreds of agencies all at the same time to figure out what's going to work the best. And then everyone can do the stuff that works the best. And that's why you can get results out of this. So if you really are serious and committed, then surround yourself with people who can help. Because most of the time, the people who don't succeed at starting their own business, it ends up crashing for one of two reasons. Either there's someone else in your life that's pulling you down, and they're saying, oh, it's too risky. Now's not the right time. We should do it next year. Or like, I don't want to do that. Or whatever. So other people's fear and anxiety is causing you not to have the dream that you want, to be able to have the business and the lifestyle and all that other stuff. It's like other people will pull you down. And other times you'll pull yourself down with bullheaded insistence that you have to do it all by yourself. And like, I tend to fall more into that camp. Is like I sometimes will be like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I can figure it out. But the problem is you can't figure it out. It's like you can be the best hole digger in the world and still not be able to dig holes fast enough to find all the moving coins underground. You've got to have other people helping you out, or you'll never be able to hit all the pieces that you need to make the business actually profitable. And then you get into the situation where you just blew through like several years worth of nights and weekends, and you're not hanging out with your family, and you're missing your kids growing up, and you're not going to the sporting events, and you're stressed out all the time. And it's like you end up with the worst of both worlds. It's like you don't have the business and you missed out on your life. So like, don't do that, right? Decide if you're going to commit. And if you do commit, get the right people around you so we're all digging for the stuff all at the same time, and we can all share with each other what's working, and then you actually get the result, because you have to define what you want. And so you think, well, the very first step is, do I want to have this big agency where like you're overseeing lots of people and other people are doing work and you just have this big enterprise agency? Or would you rather just make 6 figures working out of your house with a laptop and have that kind of a business? And then you say, okay, well, now that I figured out what the foundation is going to look like, well, what's the offer that I'm going to make? And then you define what that is. And you say, well, what's the marketing that I can put around that so I can communicate to other people what I'm going to do for them without overwhelming them? So then you get the marketing materials together. And then you think, well, What different tools do I need to outreach and begin to like disseminate the message? And you're like, well, where's the traffic going to come from? And then how do I get the leads? And how do I get the clients? And once I have the clients, how do I retain the clients with residual income? And so like you have all of these incremental stepping stones, and those are the coins. Those are the things that are all floating around all the time, because a lot of that's going to change and evolve as the internet changes and evolves. And you've got to have all these people digging all over the place at the same time, so we can all say, hey, here's what works over here. Here's another coin over here. And we can all share that with everybody. And if you're just sitting there by yourself, just banging your head against the wall, I don't think you're ever going to be able to make it. And then 6 months later, a year later, or maybe multiple years later, you're going to look back and be like, oh, I burned through my savings. I wasted all my time with my family. My kids grew up without me. It's like, and I don't even have the business that I want. And that's very frustrating. So decide up front, are you committed? And if you are committed, don't let anybody stop you. And then get around people so that it can work for you. So get around the people that you can help. Get around all the people that are digging for this stuff all at the same time, so that you can actually make it work. And if you do that, you will have a much stronger chance at really making this win. Like, that's how you win at this.